Welcome back to Talking Shit, where we are talking all sorts of shit. Schitt's Creek, that is. I'm Jess Sterling, and today we are talking about Season 4, Episode 8, The Jazzaguy. And of course, as always, I'm joined by someone who loves to pop the cork on some champagne. Stuart, how are you?
Only when I'm not going to impose. I'm good, thanks, Jess. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk about this episode. We're going to get into the bumpkin of it all.
Oh yeah.
Johnny being a jazz guy, and of course, like the lovely David and Stevie relationship. I'm excited to talk about that because they just little spa trip together, so cute.
Bless them. Just a very cute trip that didn't go wrong at all. Not in the slightest. It's fine.
No, free amenities, please. What's so sad about that? Nothing.
I mean, nothing sad about that, except for when you've kind of got to perform for them.
Yeah, not a fan of that. I don't want people clapping for me for literally any reason ever.
No, even if I've done something well, don't clap.
Just nod approvingly.
Give a 5-star review, but don't clap.
Thank you. Yes, 5-star reviews always appreciated. Never clap at us. Yes, if I sound sickly, I might be coming down with something, so I apologize. If you're watching us on YouTube and you see me coughing but you don't hear it, just know that I've hit the mute button in time. So lucky you.
I just love it. The incentive for people to go and check us out on YouTube is just go see how sick Jess looks. Like, he's
go look at her.
dying
She looks
in
like
the background on mute.
Shit. Yeah. Just see how awful I look. No, I really look the same as I usually do, which means my hair's a mess and I'm here. That's it.
Working from home.
Working from home. Yes. So we're talking about the Jazzaguy. I gotta be honest, Stuart, when last week when we were talking about, oh, this is the next episode we're covering, I remembered obviously like the Johnny as a Jazzaguy storyline because it's in the title, but the rest of it I didn't remember. Like, I'm like, I don't really remember what the heck the next thing that happens on Schitt's Creek is. And I ended up like really liking it actually.
A lot happens in this one. I feel like they kind of like crammed it weirdly without it not feeling like too rushed or anything. I felt like there are a lot of little progressions with like relationships and emotions and kind of settling in and letting things bake a little, which I really appreciated. And also,
were you surprised that we didn't get the resolution between like Patrick and David this episode?
A little. I feel like that's being drawn out a little bit, but I guess I'm not sure if it's the kind of thing that we are getting. Like, it is the resolution because we know that they were texting and that Patrick knew where they were. So, like,
and he sent them wine. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if you're still talking and you're still sending wine and going along with like the shenanigans of what they're up to, it's it's going to be good. It's just a formality of just being like, oh, I guess we have to make up. I suppose.
Are you a David in this situation where you're like, I'll text you, but like, I'm still going to sulk and like be moody about it?
I don't know. Not really. I'm more like, if I'm texting you, I'm just like, it's over, it's done with. If I've got a grudge, you're gonna know.
Yeah, like, I need to know. Are you a grudge holder? Do you hold like massive grudges? Like if someone wronged you in like the 3rd grade, do you still remember it and hold a grudge against that person?
I still remember it. I don't hold grudges, but I'm the kind of person that would deflect anything with humor anyway. So I think I'd probably turn it into one of these awkward jokes that I will constantly make and then constantly remind them of.
Oh, that's
and awful. That would be, and then I turn into the arsehole. I'm just like, remember that thing you did that was really minor that I just keep bringing up and keep making a big deal that's not a big deal? They're like, yes. And I'm like, yeah, that. They go, I hate you, Stuart.
Yeah, and then they rightfully hate you for it. So
yeah,
look at that, how the tables have turned.
Yeah, I need therapy.
I thought that's what this podcast was. No.
No, I told you I'm not billing for this. For you, it was not couples therapy when Will was on. There's no way this can turn into therapy. It's not happening.
All right. Well, let's do a quick little episode recap here at the top to remind people what happened this episode. Pop the cork on some champagne and dive into your lover's curry as we discuss season 4, episode 8, The Jazzaguy. Alexis decides to try the latest dating app, Bumpkin, under the guise of helping Twyla find a new beau. She matches with sexy vet Miguel, but things go south when he decides it would be inappropriate to date his competition's ex fiance. Like, all right, Miguel.
Get a
David's love
backbone.
David's love life is also struggling as he hasn't made up with Patrick after the secret fiance scandal. In an effort to pull him out of his funk, Stevie invites him on a spa trip. It gets weird when, in order to get free perks and extras, Stevie says they're newlyweds. The spa loves a newlywed couple and showers them with just so much love and attention. Moira doesn't appreciate Johnny ditching her for lunch due to his work at the motel, and in order to make it up to her, he joins her at her Jazzagals rehearsal. He's a natural baritone, and the gals want him to join permanently. But Moira decides that would be a step too far, and Johnny will have to take his lovely singing voice elsewhere. And that's our episode, Stuart.
Okay. I feel like I need to get this out of the way early. I didn't necessarily have to like go into this storyline immediately, but I just have to say this to get it out of the way because I think it's the one negative I'm ever going to say about the guy in this episode. He ditched her 3 times that week. That's so not on.
That's a lot of times to ditch a person. 3 times?
Yeah.
Like, that's grounds for divorce at that point.
Yeah, I feel like Moira is completely justified in having a bit of a kind of like she dressed it really kind of well. She's just like, if we are keeping tally, like 3 times. Johnny.
Yeah, and my question about this entire situation, right, is he says, I gave Stevie the day off. She hasn't had a day off in 14 days. Okay, well, if she hasn't had a day off in 14 days and you've ditched Moira for lunch 3 times, the hell were you up to, Johnny?
I would absolutely guarantee that he has been off trying to find other golf courses and has been playing around or 2. I don't know if no, playing around, that's really bad. No, he's not playing around. He's playing a round of golf. Perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But I mean, that could be a possibility. I mean, what hobbies does Johnny have, really?
Fixing up grills that he doesn't understand how to operate.
Cooking awful sliders.
Burnt hockey puck sliders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like okay. I think what Johnny's doing is he's just like sitting in like the office, which is actually just the front desk, and like trying to come up with like really great ideas for the motel. And that's it.
You mean
like he
everything that he was doing in Bob's?
Yes. Like he seems like a guy who can sit behind a desk and just think for a while. It sounds like my nightmare, but I think that's what he's doing.
Johnny is such a like pre-internet person of just like he doesn't have the dopamine fixation of like doom scrolling. He's perfectly content with just being chill and doing nothing.
What a monster. How does a person do that?
Okay. Johnny Hay out of the way. That's out of the way though. Because I mean he redeems himself really well, right? He comes out of this episode, I think, flying high. Dude had a belter of an episode.
Yeah, no. Johnny, I think he's making the right decisions after he blows her off 3 times, right? Like he surprises her at the Jazzagals. He's like, I'm here. You were so right. Like, I like that he has taken what she says into account and is like, I don't want to go back to those days. Because as much as we enjoyed our life because we had tons of money, Moira was able to fill her time with other things because of the money they had. That's not true anymore. And I think all the Roses would agree they are now closer as a result, both in physical proximity, but also like on an emotional level because they are so, in each other's lives more. And he doesn't want to lose that aspect of their relationship. So I loved him like showing up and surprising her at the Jazzagals. And then we find out he can sing. And I just need more of Johnny and Ronnie together. Like Johnny, Ronnie. They're so fun together. I want more of them hanging out and doing, I don't know, stuff.
Ronnie just seems to be a great like character for everyone to bounce off of. I don't think anyone really has bad scenes with Ronnie. Like it's always just it's not like proper knee slapping humor and things. Like Ronnie's just always there for a good chuckle and like a really good like kind of like quip or anything like that just gets thrown in. I was quite surprised at how Johnny's voice, or at least like kind of adeptness at joining into what they were singing, really turned Ronnie completely 180 because Ronnie was like, I have perfect pitch. Don't you mess this up for me. And then by the end, Ronnie was like basically in love with Johnny, being like, yeah, you're amazing.
Yeah. The side eye, I can only aspire to the level of side eye that Ronnie is giving Johnny when he first shows up. I love
Hmm.
her so much. I just and he's like, "Don't I wouldn't want to what is it? Like,
Oh.
yeah. It's so great. Yeah, the Jazzaguys are so fun. They're like enjoying having Johnny around. They invite him to be a permanent member. I totally agree with where Moira is coming from. Like,
Hmm.
in her mind, she only has so many passions in the town of Schitt's Creek. So, if you're combining things, then it's going to take away from a different aspect of your life. Like, it's essentially like if you're hanging out with Johnny all the time, she's not going to be able to then meet up with him later and tell him about her day because he's already going to know about her day. So,
Hmm.
it's better to have a little bit of separation between church and state, you know?
You gotta, I think, at times like really draw a line and like have some stuff for yourself. Like you gotta carve out a bit of your life for you.
Yeah.
Can't share everything with everyone. But like again, like you said, it's like how else are you gonna have conversations at the end of the day if they know exactly what you've been up to? Like what do you
Mhm.
talk about at that point? Why don't you just be the same person? It's
Yeah.
a bit dull. And of course,
Yeah.
like Moira needs that more than most, I think, because she is very much
Yes.
a like spotlight
I
person.
was just gonna say, I also feel like there's an aspect of like Moira is still kind of the new hotness in terms of the Jazzagals. Like she's the
Hmm.
newest member, I believe. I don't think we've had anybody else join since she joined. So now that we have Johnny, like he's the new hotness. Like she doesn't want to give up that spotlight as much as it is very lovely to hear like compliments about your other half. It only goes so far, you know? Like you still
Yeah.
want, especially if you're someone who likes the limelight, you still want to be like number one in everyone else's eyes. You don't want like your partner coming in and like stealing the spotlight from you.
Yeah, I guess like if you're the lead, it's okay to occasionally have a bit of a stunt casting cameo from someone come in, but they can't stick around. They got to have like occasionally
Exactly.
because like no, it's your show. And like
Yeah,
it's the thing you got to pull focus. How are you going to do that if they're going to be sticking around taking up all the compliments? No, 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 no.
exactly. No, you have your own friends, Johnny. Get out of here.
Does
And she
he?
tells him that. Yeah, no, he doesn't. Bob, maybe.
Oh,
I think Roland is like his best friend, which is the saddest part.
is it? I mean, Roland has done some nice things for him. He's done some nice things for Roland. Best
Is it
friends is
say
possibly a stretch, but I would go as far as to
yeah.
say they're friends.
Oh, certainly they're friends. At the very
Yeah.
least, they're friends. But here's the thing, Stuart. I don't think I want to be friends with someone who, if I ask them to like clean a room for me, if I can't trust that they can clean a room, I truly just don't imagine I can be friends with that person. Because that just says something really bad about them, like that they're either disgusting or just like hopeless as a human.
Fair. I was just thinking of some of my friends and whether I would trust them to clean them, but I think that's more down to them just being a little ADHD or just,
Yeah.
non-committal with things rather than being disgusting like Roland
Yeah.
is. Because yeah,
Like if I
I
ask my friend for a favor or a task and they just simply cannot complete it, then it's like, really? Like, really? We're adults. Come on now. Like, you raised a full child. Like, you have an adult child. You can't clean?
Yeah, but did Roland really raise Mutt though? Like Jocelyn did all the
No.
work, which is kind of bad because really we should put a lot of blame on Jocelyn for Mutt, more so than what we do Roland, because I don't anticipate that Roland
Yeah.
really raised Mutt if that is the way in which I don't know. Maybe he was one of those kind of I'm going to be there for like certain things, like probably the kind of like stereotypical stuff. Oh, well, go play ball with him and all of that stuff, but probably did none of the actual, essential raising of the kid stuff.
Yeah.
But
I do feel like I don't want to rag on Roland too much because I do feel like he was involved in his kid's life more, like I'm trying to think of the way to put this. Like I do feel like he took his job as a father seriously in that he was there for Mutt. We know they didn't have like the best relationship. I chalk that up a bit more though to as Mutt became an adult. I feel like their
yeah,
relationship probably deteriorated significantly because Roland wanted him to follow in his footsteps and Mutt didn't want that. But yeah, Roland just is like a little bit of a mess of a human being. And I I mean, I love mess, but like when it comes to friendships, not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, drama mess is fun if it's not about me and if I get to hear about it.
Hence
But
why you'd
yeah,
want to be friends with Moira and not Roland, which I think makes sense.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I would be like loose friends with Moira, I think. I think we would
Arm's
clash in terms
length.
of the spotlight. Like,
Oh,
she's
really?
just I think so.
You'd be coming for a gig.
I don't want the spotlight all the time, but I do want it some of the time. And Moira is like never gonna let anybody else have the spotlight.
True. Yeah.
So but yeah, and I like that Johnny does understand this. He's like, you know what? Okay, that's fine. But my biggest
hmm
question, and this is a stupid question to have, but like when they go to the cafe after the rehearsal and they're all getting drinks, obviously I understand why Jocelyn is drinking lemonade, right? But why can't Moira have like a martini or a Cosmo or whatever the heck they were drinking? Why does she have to have lemonade?
I don't know, actually. I never really gave that any bit
It's
of
like
thought.
why are baritones the only ones allowed to have a little booze?
Maybe it's just like kind of they'd chosen to just that like I think maybe like Johnny's like kind of getting wrapped up with the whole like oh I need to
Mhm.
ingratiate myself with everyone so I'm going to go along with what Ronnie ordered and then it becomes this thing you know how they, like
Yeah.
everyone's like yeah we're a group and we're anti you kind of thing it becomes
Yeah.
stupidly weirdly
Maybe.
tribal possibly that I don't think
Yeah.
it's I don't know they're not foreshadowing anything because Moira's not pregnant we're not going to have double baby on this
Imagine.
show are we that'd be
Imagine.
wild.
So yeah, so that's what we've got for Moira and Johnny. Where do you want to go to next? Do you want to talk about Alexis's dating or David and Stevie's spa trip?
We could talk about the dumpster fire that is Alexis's dating life. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, Bumpkin. Never would I ever use an app called Bumpkin in my life.
No. And because especially like the word bumpkin as well is a choice, but also in the reference of
Yeah.
dating, bump kin in a very kind of like low population area. Probably not
Kissing
advisable, you know?
cousins. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. Don't be kissing your
No. And
cousins, people.
the way Alexis describes it too, it's like, oh, it's like for farming singles. Like it's very strange. Also, so I had messaged you earlier today or yesterday, and I said, "Do you know of this word from anything else?" And you said no. And then I realized it wasn't exactly that word I was thinking of. So it's not the word bumpkin I was thinking of. And I mean, this is really a podcast for adults anyway, but like now is the time, like, please don't let your children listen to what I'm about to say, okay? Because like I'm
Oh
not
dear.
responsible for their therapy bills.
Can
Okay,
I cover my
so
ears?
there's there's a word there's a word called blumpkin. Have you heard of this word?
Blumpkin?
So it's the
No.
same word bumpkin, but put an L after the B.
I
Don't Google
figured
it. Do
that.
not don't
Oh,
Google it. Go
really?
on incognito mode if you're going to. Um, Okay, let me describe to you what this act is because it's an act. It is the act of like giving someone a blowjob while they're on the toilet. I told you not to Google it.
What is wrong with the world?
I don't know, but that's what I thought. In my head, I conflated the two, and but I guess like there could be a bumpkin blumpkin, like if it's like I don't know, kissing cousins, doing that sort of an act. But it was so close to that word that I was like, this is a terrible name for a dating app.
Yeah, I mean, that would be much, much, much worse. But what is wrong with the world that we have to invent these kind of words for these kind of things?
Listen,
Like,
people are into some weird stuff,
yeah,
and I will be king
like,
shaming that because that's disgusting. That's
yeah.
unsanitary. All right.
It's, I don't appreciate you giving me something that you tell me not to Google because it's like it's the whole the blue waffle that was back in the days. Like, don't please, if you're listening, don't Google that. It's disgusting. But like that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
it's yeah. No, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Can we stick with bumpkin?
Yeah.
Actually, when you compare the two, bumpkin and bumpkin, bumpkin, fantastic. What a
Yeah.
great name. Don't
Yeah.
change it. wonderful.
Yeah, what did you think of Alexis lying, to both David and Twyla and saying she was using it for the other one?
I mean, does anyone believe her at all? Like the amount of
Mhm.
almost like shade being thrown to Twyla, of like Twyla being this guinea pig of Alexis, kind of like wanting to, go out and get some. Because oh yeah, Twyla needs to go out because she's not gone out in a while. Oh,
Yeah.
Twyla needs help with the dating app. It's like no, everyone. I think David of all people sees right through it as well.
Mhm.
Twyla, unfortunately, I don't think sees through it in the slightest.
No, it's Twyla.
Very
We can only expect so much.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad that she can't admit it to herself because, like, Alexis, she's trying to process this, and she's really still cut up over Ted, and she can't quite fully get her words around it. Like, I didn't think she could get her mind around it, so she's
Yeah.
kind of inventing this weird situation where Twyla needs help dating, and that's why she's on the app, and that's why she just happens to swipe right on Dr. Miguel. Come on.
Dr. Miguel with and this is like, okay, the stereotypical thing about dating apps is like, oh, the man holding a fish or whatever. Like, why are they always holding dead fish? Like, why do you think that that's attractive? Um,
Is
but
that a thing?
oh, in America it is. Yeah,
Oh
for
my god.
sure. Like, cuz it's like men fishing. Like they always post pictures of
Oh,
themselves holding a fish. Like, stop it. And also stop with the group photos. Like just point out which one you are, you know? The thing is I will fall back when I was on a dating app. I did fall for the like, oh, the guy took a picture with a cute dog. I'm in. Like instant
oh
swipe
yeah.
right, obviously. Fish, absolutely not. Now, shirtless with puppies, you're getting every single match available to you. Your nipples are out and you're good looking and you have puppies and you're a vet, which means you make the money. Swipe right, swipe right. Like everyone's swiping on him. He has his pick of the litter, if you will.
That's a really bad thing to
You're
say about
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
But no, like being shirtless on a dating app though is like yeah, okay, it shows off the goods, and for a good time works. But
Yeah.
for a long-term time, no, 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 no,
It's a
because you don't
Tinder
want to be
thing,
dealing with that.
not
That's
yeah.
so much effort and attention. Like, ugh, oh, you going out for a run? Are you?
Yeah.
Ugh, enjoy yourself. Bye.
Oh my god, the fucking I love to hike. Get out of here. No one likes hiking.
I
Listen,
like
someone
hiking.
stop it.
Not like steep hills, but like a good long walk in the countryside. Wonderful,
That's a different thing
brilliant.
though. That's different. That's a
Yeah, it's
walk.
not like a full-on
Like,
hike,
oh,
hike,
I
hike.
love hiking mountains. No, you don't. You're
Yeah,
literally just walking in the woods. Like, that's what you're doing. And, like, why do you have to be telling everybody about it? Ooh, I'm so superior. I love
because I'm so
hiking.
connected to nature.
I love yoga. Like, stop. Stop. I just can't. One more person says they love to hike. You don't. I don't like to hike, and I will never lie about that.
Do you think I like to hike is like the millennial version of the boomer like long walks on the beach? Like it's that
Yes.
like trope? Yeah,
Loves
amazing.
hiking, coffee addict. Yeah, all that ridiculous shit. Swifty for life, like all that basic nonsense.
Wow,
Listen, I don't you can
drag
be a
them.
Swifty, all right? You can be a Swifty, but like stop it with the basic bio nonsense, okay? Like just say something actually real about yourself and make it funny. If it's not funny, not interested.
So I've looked at the demographics for this podcast and
Oh
very
no.
millennial. So I'm hoping for any of the
Just
singles
lost all
listening,
our
they're being
listeners.
dragged right now.
It's fine. Here's the thing. Listen, you do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Like you're out in the wild and you're dating people on a dating app, like Godspeed, like do
Oh
what you got
yeah,
to do. But here's the thing. If I matched with someone and the first thing they sent me was just sup. No. I'm not replying to that.
yeah.
Fap. That's not anything, Stuart. Like you have to have a good opening line. And I think Miguel is resting on his laurels. He is resting on his abs and his puppies. Like he's not putting in any effort because his nipples are out in his photo. So he's like, I don't have to do anything. He's lazy. That's how I
I mean,
feel about him.
fair play. I mean, like, here's the thing, though. Okay, yeah, the acquisition could have gone better, could have been better, and stuff like that. The exit, though, spineless. I'm sorry, but like, why? I don't get it in the slightest. Of just like, oh, I have this like burgeoning professional respect for Ted. Get out of here! Did you not see who you're talking to?
Yes, seriously, the minute Alexis walks in, she could literally say, like, I am a serial killer, and it would not matter. Like, get over yourself, Miguel. It makes no sense that he's all high and mighty, especially when he is the one buying whatever this champagne like knockoff is. Like he's dressed like okay, but he's definitely not dressed up like Alexis is. Like
Hmm.
respect who you're talking to. She is a worldly woman.
I mean, in fairness, Alexis's dress was giving kind of like, baked potato in tinfoil a little
Oh,
bit.
certainly. She
But
looked like she had a conspiracy theory to tell everyone. But like
exactly. But
still,
the dress itself was awful. But
the hair,
the styling, the
the ear
general
cuff.
confidence in which she walked in, yeah,
Yes.
just hot. It's like, how dare
Exactly.
he? How dare he? He deigns to speak with her. He deigns to spend time with her. Like,
Yeah.
he's lucky.
Also, shouldn't he want like if you have a rivalry with Ted, shouldn't you want to be dating his ex-fiance? Also, they're
Well, no, this is.
exes.
I mean, he did say that there's no one else that he would rather see destroyed professionally. So like
Mhm.
there is a distinction that I think he's got like veterinary bro code going on here of just like, oh no, can't go there.
Bro code is it's stupid, okay?
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's dumb. No, just because I have an ex that you just happen to know, kind of, sort of, you're not friends with that guy. It's not his call whether or not we date. Like, Miguel deserved to just leave. What a little baby. Like, truly, I can't stand him. Like, it's offensive to me that he is going to hold puppies against his naked chest and then be that much of a douchebag. It's like upsetting.
It's a fair take. It's a fair take.
Yeah. So that's what's going on there. But poor Alexis. She's the one who's gonna get stuck with the bill for the stupid fake champagne. Like that's
I
brutal.
mean, it can't cost that much. It's
No, of course
champagne
not.
or champagne or whatever it
Although
was.
I guess she kind of has a job right now.
Yeah,
Like
I
she's kind of
mean,
PR
well, no,
manager at the
she
motel.
should be spending all that money on her education, which is where it should all be funneling to. But
Right.
I don't know, maybe I mean she's got to have some money for that. But yeah, I mean, douche move to like leave her with the bill. Douche move to leave. Full
And he just
stop.
walks out immediately.
And also like douche move to like call her out on her BS and to really kind of draw attention to the fact that like she is floundering in still being hung up on Ted and making her
Hmm.
realize that a little bit more. Stop bringing pain to her. Like let her come to that on her own, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Anyway,
know. We're
Miguel
really weirdly
sucks.
protective of Alexis in this episode.
Because she is a sweet baby angel and she must be protected against people like Miguel. Because, like, every person who's ever been on a dating app has gone on a date with a Miguel, and the Miguels of the world suck. And that's that.
Totally not wrong.
Yeah. So poor Alexis. I did love at the
Hmm.
end of the episode when Johnny and Moira are going through the app on her
Oh,
phone and oh, there's Jebediah. Wait, there's Ray again.
Jebediah.
So funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I love the fact that like Alex's reaction after they swipe right on Jebediah and they match, and then it goes back to Ray, and she just like cathartically, ew, like full on. It's so
You've just
good.
bumped into with a Jebediah. I did love Johnny
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, a hookup. That sounds promising, Alexis. He's open to hooking up
Oh,
for dinner and
so
drinks."
much cringe. No. Oh, that's not what that is.
Oh, one of my wives. Yeah, horrible. This is terrible. I mean, that I do feel like this feels realistic for dating in a very small rural community. This
Yeah.
is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get farmers. You're gonna get people holding dead fish. Like that's what you're getting. It's very
Wow.
limited selection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really
So.
selling it, the whole experience. No.
I don't recommend it. Really don't.
Mm-hmm. No.
Um, yeah, but David's love life is also suffering. He is in a depression. He's wearing all black with sunglasses on inside.
A vibe. A vibe. Been there.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm half
Mhm.
there right now.
Mhm.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
buddy.
And Stevie
Insane.
is so lovely. She takes her one day off in 2 weeks. And she instead of going to the spa with Jake where they can sit in that weird tub in the middle of the room together. She instead takes David.
I can't get over the tub. Sorry, I know
Yeah.
that we should be talking about Stevie Two, the tub. Not only was it so like in the 70s, they used to have these like I can't remember what they're called, but like the dugout like sofas in the floor, and it's all like to to cultivate conversation and things like that.
Oh, what do
That's
they
what that
call that? Yeah.
I can't remember.
Sunken living room or something? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
something like that. And it's that vibe, but also has a mirror on top and columns. It's so horrendously ugly. I can't even word how angry I was just looking at it and just going, if I
Yeah.
walked into a room and this is meant to be the celebration of my like marriage that I've just had, and I was greeted with that. Oh god, then I hope the other half is really hot to take my mind off of it because that was
Yeah.
awful.
It was really bad. Like, it was both very tacky and, like, I can't get over the tub in the middle of the room. Is
Yeah,
there carpet in the room?
I think it was.
Ugh! Nothing
Uh,
is worse than, like, the potential for water to get all up on the carpet. So gross. Like, ugh. And I didn't even it's just, like, so it's just it's so upsetting, and on top of that, so, like, I love how much Stevie enjoyed it, where she's just like, "Listen, it's we get perks when we tell
mhm.
everyone we're newlyweds and we get the perks."
It's a good trick.
It is. This would not work in the United States because you'd have to pay for all of those perks. But Canada seems real nice. Overly nice, in my opinion. Like, please don't put me at a table that faces out where everyone can stare at me and then throw rose petals at my face.
Yeah, that's an absurdity, and if that ever does happen anywhere, I set fire to the place because that's awful. Like, I don't care,
Yeah.
even if you're I think even Moira in that situation would have been cringing and hated it.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
don't think anyone would have really liked that. I mean, how excited about someone else's marriage can you get? Like, I know people who I love
I
dearly
don't
that
get
got married.
I
I'm
I'm
never that excited.
I like barely get excited for people I know that are getting married, like let alone randos. Like
Mhm.
what you celebrate your love however you see fit, but like why am I involved in this? Like I didn't sign up for this at all. And I'm especially not just like clapping for some randos. Like what are we doing here? Why are we sitting at a table side by side? That's weird.
Yeah.
And what exactly is lovers curry? Truly. What about it makes it lovers curry? Cuz like I just feel like the way they were reacting to it made me think that whatever gastrointestinal stuff was going to happen after the fact is really not lovely at all.
Maybe it's to test the marriage. So it's like lovers curry. You give it to the newlyweds and you test the extent of which they would want to stay together once they're like, I don't know. I was about to really make a really bad Blobkin joke. But it would probably exacerbate that situation, wouldn't it? Like, oh, that'd be horrendous. So maybe it
Yeah.
would test the extent of it. I don't know. There
Now
is
I'm wondering
like,
where the toilet was in the room. If the tub was in the middle of the room, was the toilet by
oh,
itself?
they like,
Like a water closet situation, hopefully. You have water
it's got to
closets
be
there?
sectioned off. There's
Yeah.
no way you want to like drop a drop a turd
Stop
and then
it!
just.
Stop! You don't even need to say anything after droppa. Everyone knows what you mean. You don't need to say droppa anything.
But like in the same room, like if it's not partitioned off, then like Stevie's gonna watch David poop. Oh, like David's gonna watch Stevie poop, and like I don't think anyone's here for that. I think I might
No.
kill Jess.
No one wants to see that. That's so awful. And like they're just like hanging out in their room with like I don't even know if they got any spa treatments. They have like facial masks on.
Mhm.
Which is probably what makes the like resulting conversation that much better, where they talk about like how they're best friends and like neither one of them has ever had a best friend before. It's like very sweet and also very sad.
Yeah.
Because Stevie is trying to ask, like, well, how come you didn't know about like the fiance? Like, what's the deal? I definitely not David's fault. Like, that is totally on Patrick for not saying anything. But David makes it seem like, well, we didn't really go into past relationships because anytime I've mentioned mine, like it hasn't gone well.
Yeah, I got from the impression of this conversation, I kind of gave Patrick a little bit more leeway with the whole situation than I did last time we talked about it, because I felt like from what David was saying is that every time it kind of even approached that area, David would take it away, so they wouldn't even get into the realm of the conversations of exes
Yeah.
and things. So it like kind of didn't really give Patrick an opportunity to really talk about it. I don't think Patrick would have been willing to bring that forward. So
Mhm.
like doesn't get fully off the hook. But I kind of see them both as being completely avoidant of their past and their histories. And so like, ugh,
Yeah.
I mean, if it was going to happen to anyone, I mean, David did really kind of ask for it in the sense of like, well, let's just not talk about our past and let's see how
Right.
bad it can get, kind of thing. But
Right.
I think it's so kind of good how Stevie talks to Patrick about it and says, like, okay, well, why didn't you ask about it? Why didn't you know? And then it kind of prompts them to just have a bit of honesty between the two of them because they both kind of recognize, oh no, maybe talking about stuff is good. Maybe to acknowledge some stuff is good. And to have
Yeah.
David say, I think you're my best friend, it was like, you'd never get that from old David. Like the barriers would be
No.
so high. Like even when David was kind of like David and Steve were like hooking up and stuff, I don't think that the barriers were lowered down enough. It's an
Yeah.
emotional way of like letting someone in that is so good to show his growth as a character.
Certainly, and I also think Stevie as well. Like, we've
Yes.
seen Stevie have her sweeter moments, certainly, right? I'm even thinking of not that long ago when Moira, like there was the Rip Moira Rose, and Stevie's like, well, it seems like a lot of people are like sad that you're dead. Like she has done sweet things. I do think she's the sweetest when she's around David, and I really loved her saying, I know everything there is to know. Like, I know your history. I know about your family. I've, witnessed a lot and I'm still around. Like, and we know that Patrick is a better person than I am. So, like, what does that say? I just, I like this relationship because it feels so real. It doesn't,
Hmm.
there are certain shows, right? Like, and this is not me knocking those shows. I'm just, it like as a point to prove that this is a different sort of show. It's like, think about like The West Wing or like something else where the dialogue is like very snappy and it feels like a television writer has written it.
Hmm.
Whereas I feel like the way David and Stevie speak to one another feels like two friends just having a conversation. It feels
Yeah.
so real and genuine. They're not trying to be elevated or extremely intelligent about how they're saying things. They're just plainly saying them. And it is so refreshing because sometimes those other types of shows, and again, this is not a dig at those because that's a different show for a different audience and it's a different topic, but those shows sometimes can like speak down to their audience in a way, whereas this
Hmm.
show I feel like it's an everybody show. Everybody can relate to one of these characters for one reason or another, and to just see two people who have been closed off about relationships in their past and like never really connected deeply with a single person find each other and find a way to kind of trudge past their baggage and connect in this way while also, eating lovers curry and having some bad stuff happen. It's just like really incredible. And I love this. The more I rewatch the show, the more I love David and Stevie's friendship every single time I watch it.
Yeah, and I think when like it does feel so real, like a proper conversation because it's at the end you do get like kind of a quip. You get like kind of David saying, "Well, this would be a really sweet moment if what we admitted wasn't so sad." Like that self-deprecating humor that the two of
Mhm.
them gel on, but just feels natural. It doesn't feel like it's shoehorned in just to like end on a high note and like to not have an emotional, not even emotional scene, but just like a real scene be real because we have to remind people it's a comedy. It's like no, it feels like something the characters would do because they do deflect from their own kind of like vulnerabilities. Like David, I'm
Mhm.
sure feels weakened in that moment because he's kind of let the barriers down. Stevie's kind of had a peek over, and so he has to kind of like bring them back up with a bit of a shield of humor. but it's a nice, like, it's just a small little shield of humor, and it's the kind of
Yeah.
thing that they would do. So yeah, everything feels totally natural. I totally agree with you. Like, I think other shows would totally not just allow this to happen. I wouldn't let it breathe, which is what is so great about the choices that they make with this.
Yeah. It just feels so lived in. Like it feels so real, even though it's ridiculous, right? Like these characters are outlandish at
Hmm.
times, but also like the friendships feel just like evolve so naturally. Like we are 4 seasons in, and I appreciate that the show never rushes anything. The evolution of these characters, it's like, yeah, suddenly you kind of look and you're like, oh my gosh, like look at this huge step forward. But then you kind of see the seeds and the breadcrumbs that have led to it, 4 seasons ago. So, I just love it. Anything else about this episode before we get into some feedback?
What was it I made about? Oh, just more like just to jump back. I know we already have, but like Gene Levy singing,
Oh, he's so good.
he's really good. I just
Yeah.
wanted to acknowledge it. He's a really good singer,
Yeah.
it seems.
Also,
And also the Jazzagals as well. Like they were
oh,
actually
they're all
cooking. Like they
incredible.
were so good.
Yeah. So I'd be remiss if I didn't just briefly mention the Eugene Levy eyebrows commercial for the Super Bowl and
Oh god.
just how horrifying it was. Like, never ever in my life do I ever need to see that commercial again.
Yeah, I heard that many of the cast made appearances in all the Super Bowl commercials this year.
Yeah.
Like, I think Catherine O'Hara was in one. I've only seen the Eugene Levy one. I don't think
Um,
I need to see anything.
Also, Twyla, I'm blanking on her name. Obviously, her last
She
name's
was
Levy.
on,
She's
yeah,
the
Sarah
same
Levy. She was
one.
on the same one. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Gosh.
So I mean, good for them. Happy they're getting
Yeah.
work, but also please leave his eyebrows on his face. Like, wait, why are we removing them? That's not
I,
okay.
I I love the fact that the man knows that like he has some iconic eyebrows and is going
Oh,
to
he
lean
has a
into the humor
brand.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I love that Dan Levy inherited those fantastic eyebrows
yeah.
because they need to be passed on in this world.
Slightly more groomed, I imagine.
It's a little bit more, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think eyebrows are a thing similar. You know how your ears and your nose never stop growing? Like the older you get, they just grow and grow and grow.
Is that true?
Um,
I
yes.
thought that was just a myth.
Oh no, that's a real thing. You can look. There was a side by side picture I saw of a president, but I don't remember which president, and you could literally see the difference in the size of their ears. It was crazy.
Oh wow.
Um, but I think eyebrow hairs are the same. Like they just get longer as time goes on. I don't know.
Don't like that.
Yeah, it's sad and scary.
Sad.
Um, sad and scary. Okay, let's get into some feedback. We got a message from Jared. You're in Canada because in the US, you'd never get all these amenities without paying a boatload extra for the honeymoon suite. It's like incredibly true. Nothing
And
is
you'd
free in
have to
America.
tip as well,
I think we started with
which
these
is
fees.
ridiculous because of course, if you're at, even if you get the freebie of like getting bumped up to the honeymoon suite, everyone's going to assume that you're made of money because you got the honeymoon suite. So they're going to be like, or you're in a good
Yep.
mood because you've like just got married. So they're going to be like,
Hand
where's
it
that
over.
tip,
Yeah.
man? Yeah,
Yeah, I just got back from a vacation. Don't even get me started on the elitism and the bullshittery that happens in this country. All right. When I like boarding planes, this is the dumbest. I'm gonna just drop a quick little logic thing for you here. Okay. Tell me why, if you are in like first class or whatever, you have priority boarding. You are sitting at the front of the plane and you are boarding the plane first. Now, number one, makes no sense because you know what I'm going to do when I walk on and go all the way to the back of the plane where the poor people sit. I'm going to smash into you because you're sitting close to the aisle and they're teeny tiny aisles and you're going to get bumped. So why would you choose? Why are you making the people who have paid the most money sit on the plane for the longest amount of time? Tell me how that makes sense.
yeah, that doesn't like if I paid like top dollar for like first class seats, I'd want to like have the shortest period of time on that plane. I'd
Exactly. They
want
should
like
board
last
last.
boarding, first off.
Exactly.
The cattle
Exactly.
can deal with it in their own
Yeah.
time.
And also don't even let me get started on carry-ons and the fact that planes don't have enough space for carry-ons and they make you check them sometimes now. And it's always the poor people who have non-priority boarding who have to check them. Anyway. Moving
Different
on.
podcast.
I could rant about this for ages. April says, I might rather watch Roland clean than hear Stevie talking about Jake celebrating her body again.
Yes.
So disturbing.
the worst. I thought we had avoided making reference to that line of dialogue. Look, celebrating Stevie's body is, I'm sure, a lovely thing, but I don't need to hear about it. I don't need to hear about anyone celebrating anyone's body. Just don't
I
refer
am
to it
the
like that.
same way. Keep that to yourself, okay? That's for
Yeah.
you and whomever is celebrating your body, right?
Hmm.
You celebrate it
Celebrating
on your own
bodies
time.
and blumpkins. Don't need to hear about them. Get them out.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, we also got an email from CB. Hi, Jess and Stewart. I found your podcast when I started my newest rewatch of Schitt's Creek a few weeks ago, and I've binge listened to it as I've done my rewatch. Oh my gosh. Much
Yes.
like many others, I first watched the show during the pandemic. Yes. And it has offered me so much comfort when I have needed it in the years since. Your podcast has similarly been a wonderful escape from the world recently. Oh my gosh, CB, I hope you don't live in the United States. And if you do, I'm so sorry. A
Yeah.
couple random things that I've been thinking about while listening. If you haven't already, you should check out the Instagram at shits. No, shit sheets. Yeah, shit sheets. Sorry, the S made me think it was shits heats.
Shit, as in the shit family surname. We're
Yeah,
not talking about something else
SCH.
that bad people
Oh
do in
my, don't
hotels.
go on that Instagram, I'm sure. No, SCHITTS. The person who runs it has created spreadsheets for every possible category of thing on the show. Moira's wigs, Alexis's adventures, and so much more. I especially think Jess would appreciate it since she loves spreadsheets so much. I mean, you could tell by my reaction.
Fact.
I'm
Yeah.
really excited about that. Not me instantly finding them and following them.
Merry Christmas to
Oh,
Jess.
incredible. I know both of you have tried to figure out the timeline of the show, but I always just go into believing that time works differently in Schitt's Creek. If you start to think about the passage of time through the show, it really doesn't make sense. But I think it adds to its charm. Oh, that's so funny.
I think
Thanks.
that's true. Oh yeah,
No, yeah, no, I think you're right. It's like don't look too closely at it. It's like they said with
no.
Succession. Just don't. Just
Yeah.
live in
Plus,
ignorance, you know?
I mean, you got to remember it's Canada. Time is a bit wishy-washy there. There's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the 80s came a lot later to them, so they got catching up to do.
Exactly. Thanks again for creating such a joyous podcast about my absolute favorite show. Warmest wishes, CB. That is
That's
so
so
kind.
sweet.
Thank you so much for sending in an email. Please send us an emails. We adore getting them. And also, like, valuable information. Like, apparently, there's a whole spreadsheet Instagram I'm not a part of. Like, come on now. At podcast at Talking Shit or at Talking Shit on all social media if you want to find us and send in your feedback. All right, Stuart, are you ready to get into our ratings here?
Yes, but also no, because I'm still like, it's tough this week. It's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, simply the best. I feel like I ended up at a different result than where I started with since we started this podcast on who I want to give my
Oh,
simply the best point to.
okay.
And I do think there are a couple valid options, but ultimately where I'm landing is I'm going to give it to someone who, on their one day off after 2 full weeks, instead of bringing their hot boy toy to a spa to have him celebrate her body, she instead brings her BFF to cheer him up. I'm going to give my point to Stevie. I feel like she is doing all of the work this episode. Like,
Hmm.
okay. Like, do you really want to bring a sourpuss on a spa treatment? No. You don't want to hang out with someone who's like not having a good time, but she's willing to do that for David. And I love that about her. So Stevie's going to get my point.
To forgo someone celebrating your body and to use that trip to help your
Mhm.
friend who is in need is a very, very good thing to do. I Yeah, this Stevie is the spanner in my plans here because I was watching it for the first time and I thought, oh, this is the episode. This is the episode where I get to redeem myself and I get to like reclaim it, but like I don't hate him, guys. I don't. Look, I'm giving him an MVP point. And then Stevie comes along and goes, oh, yeah, but I'm just a really good friend here. But I'm still gonna give it to Johnny. Because his singing
Yay!
was so good.
It was
And
good. He was
he
very
did a
cute
really
about it
sweet thing.
too.
Yeah, and I think I'm also like I'm giving it to him with a slight caveat that is also kind of Moira's point as well, because I think it's more for the fact that Moira was upset about something and just articulated it so clearly to him and so maturely. And
Mhm.
Moira isn't known for necessarily being the most mature person at all times, but
Yeah.
not only did she do that in a mature way, Johnny listened and then acted on it. And I'm sorry, but like, if that's not absolute relationship goals, Jesus, come on.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very sweet. I love it. Disgruntled Pelican point. Listen, I usually like to reserve the points for people that like we know we're going to see a ton that are main characters on the show, maybe even a side character occasionally. But like truly Miguel sucks so much that I have to give him the disgruntled Pelican point. Like even this man took a shirtless picture with puppies and I'm still giving him a disgruntled Pelican point. Something is really wrong with him for me to do that. So he did not appreciate Alexis enough, and he is going to get that disgruntled Pelican point. Congratulations, Miguel. You suck.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, surely we should be giving these points to people that are going to be recurring characters. I claim this as a recurring character. We saw him shirtless like many episodes ago.
Yeah, we did.
I've seen him more than once. Therefore, he more than qualifies. Yeah, get the f out of him, Miguel. You're the worst.
He is the like you okay. We Alexis looks so good. Yes.
So
Slightly
good.
like a baked potato. Slightly looking like she's going to talk
The
about conspiracy
hottest
theories.
baked potato I've ever seen.
Exactly. The hottest baked potato. She had no business. The audacity of her to look that good in Schitt's Creek.
Who gave her permission?
No one. But we love her. So suck on it, Miguel. You're the worst, and you're getting all the disgruntled Pelican points today. And lucky for us, Moira has been on a real tear with these wigs. All right. We're going to pull it up on screen. So make sure you're following us on YouTube and make sure you're subscribed if you're not. Don't forget 200 subscribers. We're going to do something, not
Buttons
waterboarding,
down here somewhere.
something. Yeah. It could, somewhere in this vicinity.
Something about the doobly doos, if I remember from the Green Brothers, like somewhere down there.
Something over there. But I love Moira Rose channeling. I don't know. I feel like she's channeling Lord Farquaad mixed with Wednesday Addams.
I was thinking there. Edgar Allan Poe. Like
yes.
This is a choice. That wig is Farquaad, absolutely.
Yeah.
The outfit that goes with it though.
Maybe it's even I don't know if you all had these commercials. There was a commercial. Oh my god, was it for Skittles? And there was this man, and he would have that sort of hair, but it was brown, and he would like dance and sing. It was like a candy commercial, and it was there's something there. If someone can unlock this memory for me, I will be forever appreciative. If you know what I'm talking about, please let me know.
Is this another Pappy Land situation?
It was no.
Okay.
No. I think didn't he dance? I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh, Barry, it's Starburst. Apologies. It is not. Okay, I'm going to bring this up on the screen and so you can see what I'm talking about. It was this guy and he used to sing a song and it was like berries and cream, berries and cream.
Oh, that's where that TikTok comes from.
Oh, I didn't know it was a TikTok.
This became a thing. It was like a year ago. Yeah,
It's giving berries and cream Starburst guy.
It really is berries and cream Starburst guy. Yeah, that's horrid.
I hate it.
Oh, you've ruined this episode now.
Well, yeah. Well, you're welcome, everyone. I mean, it's not my favorite wig of hers, but I love a wig always. So,
yeah,
like,
I'd take it over no wig. I thought we were going to run the risk of no wig, because we've had like a big, good stretch of them recently. Still getting more.
Yeah,
I'm liking this trajectory.
Yeah. I also love always when I liked her tights too. They were giving Beetlejuice or like Cruella de Vil. They were like half white, half black.
Wonder if she swiped them from the set.
She could have. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, it's that time again. We're going to tier rank the episode. I gotta say, coming into this one, I really wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. So I'm curious, Stuart, where do you think this one belongs on our tier list here?
I normally kind of lead these things, but considering that you seemed a little surprised there, what are you thinking? Because I'll be the
It's
one to
tough.
drag it down.
No, yeah, it's tough because I think okay, when we talk about the 3 separate storylines, right?
Hmm.
The Alexis storyline I think is pretty average for me. Like, I feel like the
Yeah.
Alexis storyline is like a love that journey for me. Like, I don't love it, I don't hate it. Miguel sucks. I like hating people, so that's kind of fun. But like, sure, yeah, she's still hung up on Ted, more samey same. Um, the Johnny and Moira stuff I actually liked more than I thought I would because
Hmm.
I think Johnny is extremely sweet. I think what he does is like lovely. And I like Moira saying, I thought I would like this, but you know what? No, I want my stuff separated a little bit. So maybe that's more of like a full bouquet for me. We're trending up. And then the David and Stevie of it all, I think is like really great. Like, I think they're so lovely together. And I love her trying to pull him out of this funk. I don't think it's hot shit. Like, I don't think it's hot shit levels of cute. I feel like it's more full bouquet cute. So I guess I would probably put it at the tail end of full bouquet, like the very bottom of full bouquet. Um, but that might be too high. Like maybe it's more love that journey for me. What do you think?
Okay. I tried to say that in the sense of like hoping that you would like gas it up and I'd be like, great, we can keep it where it is because I thought it was amazing. I'm thinking like high end of full bouquet, possibly low end of hot shit. I love this episode.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not a. I don't think it's an episode I'll go back and watch loads, which is maybe why I'm thinking more full bouquet. But
Mm,
I think it was a solid episode. I think the Alexis storyline I would say is higher than I Love That Jenny for me. I thought that that was like a better than most of the kind of like C tier
mhm.
storylines that we get, and the others I thought were both A tier. So like I kind of like bump it up that way. So maybe like as a
Maybe
compromise, maybe like
above
middle.
Asbestos Fest?
Yeah, because
'Cause
like
I'm trying to
Asbestos
think
Fest, I
the
feel like only had the kind of like end bit that was
yeah.
unhinged, and that really bumps that episode up.
Yeah, all the Moira stuff in Asbestos Fest is incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then the barbecue, I mean, it has the drama. It has the
oh, that
comedy and the cuteness of Patrick and David.
yeah. I don't think I think the gasp moment that I had when it turned out that it was
Yeah.
Patrick's, and I was like, I don't think anything's gonna like, well, not
Yeah.
anything, because I mean things have been rated higher than it, but I don't think this quite gets over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. I like this, and we are like this just goes to show people love season 4 for good reason. We have 4 episodes now in full bouquet. That's incredible.
Mm,
Only 1 in Love That Journey for me and 1 in You, David. Like, that's incredible. So,
yeah.
it's a good season. Still
Yeah.
on the upward trajectory too. So great. So, that's where we're gonna land with that. And next week's episode title, Stuart, season 4, episode 9, The Olive Branch.
They're making up. Like, surely it's got to be that, right?
What if it's
Like,
a
what
literal
other
olive branch?
could be something they're selling in the store, maybe.
That'd be so like Rose
Trying
Apothecary to sell a olive
I
branch.
saw a TikTok the other day, and it was one of those like ring like door cameras, and it was of this husband opening a package, and he was just shouting to the camera like because the wife was like watching and shouting at him, kind of like
Mhm.
"Don't break it," and he was unwrapping it, and it was like a branch, and he was like, "You ordered a twig." She was like, "Don't break it."
Wasn't that what Ted bought when Rose Apothecary
Yeah, it's
opened?
like
He's like,
a
"It's
little
a
like
pencil
twig
twig or
stick
something."
pencil
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, "I bought the stick." Yeah, you never know, but that's next week, season 4, episode 9.
Hmm.
We're getting dangerously close to the end of season 4, Stuart.
I don't like it. This is like I kind of feel like the later we get into the seasons, the more I'm getting the urge to binge. But also, I'm kind of feeling that thing with age is that time is going faster the like more I get to the end, and I'm not liking this at all.
Yeah. Yeah, soon we're gonna be done with season 4, and then we'll only have 5 and 6 left.
And this isn't this season shorter as well.
The season's a little shorter. Well, it kind of, sort of, because it only has 12 episodes, but there's a special. So, you know, you get a little special in there. But that's for next week. That's next week's problem. And ending the podcast, that's future us problems. That's nothing we need to worry about right now. So, uh great for us. In the meantime, if you simply have not had enough of us, go check out Look for the Light, where we're talking about The Last of Us, leading up to season 2 of The Last of Us, which is coming so soon and will feature one Catherine O'Hara. Could not be more
Mhm.
excited about that. So
That's gonna be
go
great.
check out that Look for the Light pod everywhere you get your podcasts. And yeah, I don't know. Stuart, anything else before we wrap things up here today?
Nope, just another reminder, send feedback, email us talking shit at podcast at talkingshit.com. Find us on the socials, talking shit. And yeah, if you leave a 5-star review, or like I believe Jess will read out
I
every
will read it.
single word. Free
Every last
advertising
morsel.
on the
Yep.
pod, whatever you want.
Do it. Say it. Say what you want to say, but only if it's 5 stars. Even if you like roast us, as long as you give us 5 stars, I don't care what you say. Say anything. So do it. Just do it. Come on. Okay. That's everything, everyone. So until next time, warmest regards.
And best wishes.